Welcome to A Career That Matters, a podcast brought to you by DC Hopefuls, and I'm your host, Tommy Peavyhouse. Look, I started DC Hopefuls, and I started doing this podcast for a simple reason. I believe that you are meant to have a career of impact. Now, I don't know what that impact is. It could be in a number of areas. It could be Washington, D.C., it could be abroad, it could be in your local community. You could be in public policy, advocacy, a million different things you could do to have that impact that you were born to make. But you're probably tuning into DC Hopefuls because it's not going the way you wanted. You're stuck writing cover letters, going to awkward networking events, you're just feeling stuck professionally and you don't know how to get unstuck. That was my life for several years, and I swore to myself that if I ever figured out the right way, if I ever learned how it all really works, I would shout it from the mountaintops and share it with everyone. And that's why in 2016, I launched DC Hopefuls to help you avoid all the silly, needless mistakes that I made. So hopefully today's episode can help you through whatever situation you're facing, and it can get you going in the right direction to have that impact that the world needs you to have when you go to work every day. Hey everyone, let's talk about LinkedIn. I don't dislike LinkedIn, but it gets way too much credit. There are way too many people thinking that LinkedIn's going to change their life. Some of you pay for LinkedIn Premium. Some of you have paid LinkedIn. There are LinkedIn coaches who help you spruce up your LinkedIn profile. Yeah, so let's talk about LinkedIn for a minute. Now look, you might be an engineer, a nurse. You might have some skills that is at such high demand that if you just go on LinkedIn and say you're looking for work, you might get 6 messages for nurse. I hear you. The people who watch my stuff, you guys want to work in public policy. You want to work in advocacy. You want to have careers of impact, right? A lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us have liberal arts degrees, or our dreams are kind of niche. They're kind of difficult to understand. The point is that when we go put on LinkedIn and we're looking for work, we ain't getting bombarded. And if we do, they're from recruiters, and they're pretty shady most of the time. They're not the type of jobs we want. They're not the high-paying and impactful jobs that we want. So everyone thinks that the LinkedIn is this great networking tool. It literally makes me want to cry when I've talked to so many people. I'm like, what about your network? They're like, yeah, it's good. I got 3,000 connections on LinkedIn. Like, that's not your network? Not network. If someone doesn't know you, if you don't have their email, I would say phone number, but at least their email, they're not in your network. It's not what a network is. When I've had people say oh, yeah, I'm going to send them a message on LinkedIn, I'm like, what? Why? How, you don't know them besides LinkedIn, then that means you don't know. I know what I did. I was told by the career centers years ago, go on LinkedIn, make your profile, and then just go start messaging people. Message people who do what you want to do. Like, hey, you do what I want to do. Can we talk? Okay. If you've done that, I'd love to know if that's ever worked. Because I can tell you, I messaged about 100 people. And when I knew it didn't work is when I finally got a response. It was like the 80th person I messaged, and she wrote back, and I was like, yeah. She worked at the State Department. I was like, could we ever get coffee? And she agreed. I was like, heck yeah. And then when I sat down and she walked over, I realized that I had been a dog chasing the car. There it was. I didn't know what to say. I was like, oh, do you like working at the State Department? She's like, yeah. I was like, cool. Like, what do you do? She's like, you saw my LinkedIn profile. I work in this office and we do this thing. Yeah, no, right. I want to work at state too. Like, what should I do? She was like, you can apply. I was like, right on. Yeah, I've been doing that. So could you flag my resume? And she's like, well, I don't know you, so probably not. But if you ever see anything in my office that's of interest, I could help you out. Maybe look at your application. I was like, that would be great. Oh my God. Yeah. She's like, well, I actually do got to get going. I have a meeting. And then she left. And I looked at my watch and we had been there 12 minutes. Now, did I totally bomb that? Of course I did. But even today, all these years later, now that I'm the guy who's doing what he wants to do and I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people with their careers, I'm still not sure exactly what I would have said there. You're like, what? I was like, because I didn't know her. We had no one in common. The fact she was meeting with me was purely her being nice. Like, there was no real reason she had to be helpful. And of course, she had major walls up because, like, she didn't know me from Adam. And she even told me that, like, she got messages like that all the time and she would help when she could. So I think it made her feel good. She's probably a great person. I wish I could have met her through someone I knew because I bet she would have been amazing. So even when it works, it doesn't really work. But put yourself in her shoes or any shoes of someone getting LinkedIn messages. Person you don't know is like messaging you, and no matter how they put it, oh, I'd love your advice. I just want to learn more. You know what they want. They want a job. And you're thinking to yourself like, okay, what? I'm going to like give you 30 minutes. I'm going to get on the phone with you and talk. And they're like, what? You're going to make me feel pressured to like do something for you or look out for you. And it's just so much easier to ignore it. It just is. For people are like, God, I'd love to help, but there's no openings in my office. I don't want to disappoint this guy. And I don't even really know him. So I'm not going to do it. Now, look, I'm sure there's a few people out there who are impressed by the initiative and think, whoa, that takes guts. And they maybe will interact with you a little bit. But guys, like, at the end of the day, what are they going to do? So it's me, Tom, the professional, and I get a LinkedIn message. And for whatever reason, I like the message. I think it took some spunk. And I'm like, sure. And I agree to do a phone call with them. We chit-chat, and I enjoy it. What am I supposed to do with that? Turn to my boss and say like, hey, I know we got an opening. We need to hire this guy. Yeah, no, he messaged me on LinkedIn and like we had a phone call. That kind of sounds a little silly. What should happen is, hey boss, I want you to consider this person. I know them, so I can't interview them, but I think I really want to put their name in the hat. Well, how do you know? Well, I actually only met him a week ago. But my old coworker introduced us, and they've been friends for a very long time. And she sang his praises. She said he's a great guy. So I was more than willing to talk with him. I enjoyed getting to know him. His resume is not exactly what we're looking for, but I know he comes vouched for. I know that he's a hard worker and a good guy because my friend wouldn't say that otherwise. You see how that's different, right? So like even someone on the idea that you're going to message someone on LinkedIn, you're going to respond, and you're going to build that relationship to the point where they're going to introduce you as something other than a person who messaged on LinkedIn. It could happen, but it's going to take a long time. You'd have to be one heck of a networker, and a lot of things would have to align. So I'm not saying it wouldn't happen, but you're going to waste so much time and energy getting rejected by the 99% who are never going to do that. And you're going to waste a lot of time on the 1% who do respond to you trying to get it there. There's such an easier approach that's going to get you such better results faster. Because here's the thing, sending out 20 messages and not getting a response, I don't care what you want to tell the world, that hurts. It hurts your soul. That is rejection. And as humans, we are only allowed in our heads to take so much rejection before it starts to hurt. My self-confidence, my whole sense of self was utterly destroyed for years because I was getting all my emails, all my applications, all my LinkedIn messages, they were getting ignored. And even if I got 5% response rate and someone said that was good, it just didn't feel good. It hurt. It hurt, and it was impossible not to take it personally as much as I tried. I tried to say it was on them, that they stink for not responding. They're busy. It has nothing to do with me. How could it be about me? They don't even know me. But it slowed me down. And the more rejection I got, I slowed down and I quit doing things. And suddenly I just became stagnant in my life. And I don't want that for you. I want you to invest your energy and time into something that's going to make you feel good, and it's going to get quick results. Doesn't mean it's going to quickly get you a job necessarily, but it's going to get you feedback, responses, advice, and you're going to feel that investment from real people who are excited about what you're doing, and they think it's a good idea and they want to help, and it's going to get you going faster, and you're going to have more energy, your confidence is going to go up. I know it's crazy to say, but you can go have a career of impact, break into your field, advance in your field, and have fun and enjoy doing it. It could be good for your mental health. And I can't tell you how many times I've been in a funk and I just thought, I need to do more networking this week. It makes me feel good. And I'm an introvert. I don't like talking. I don't like necessarily going to dinner parties. I don't love going to like my kids' Boy Scout stuff because I don't really know the parents there. Like I dread that type of stuff, but I love networking because networking is strategic, it's one-on-one, and there's a purpose behind it, and I enjoy that. I'm rambling, but if you want to know how to do that, you already know what I'm going to say. I want you to click below and check out Career Investors. That's why I put all of this into modules, 20 to 40 minute long modules. They're, I think, 18, 19 lessons in a row that take you all the way from building a resume that works all the way to repeating this cycle of building a deeply invested network that's going to open doors for you that you don't even know about yet. You're going to get coaching calls with me whenever you want to book them. You're going to get access to the rest of the group so you can network and build relationships with them. You can come to our Zoom calls, learn in a group setting, post in our private Facebook group, whatever you want. And the best news is it's cheaper than LinkedIn Premium. So if you think you can't afford what I'm talking about below, just cancel LinkedIn Premium and you can. You'll have more money in your pocket. It's pretty amazing, but I do this because I want to help everyone, especially those of you who are really struggling, and I know money's a thing. So anyway, LinkedIn, have a profile, that's fine. Check it once in a while. I'm not mad at that. But if you think it's some magic tool that's going to change your life, it's not. It's not, and it's not you. So don't blame yourself when it hasn't been working. Hopefully this makes you feel better. And you realize that it has nothing to do with you. It's just a broken tactic that a bunch of people, career centers who don't know anything, told us all to do because it sounded good. And we're in our 20s, so we didn't know any better back then to tell them that this is a bad idea. Okay, I'm going to leave the career centers alone now. All right, have a good day.